Hello, hello. Hi, everyone who's here live. I'm Rosalie. We're gonna go into Manifesting Like a Master, the online live class that I'm teaching today for you. Um, Let me be honest with you, this is the first time I'm doing a webinar through YouTube, and I hope I set it up well, but I could really use some of your feedback in the chat to see if I'm coming through okay, if the sound is good, if you can see me and hear me. So I've got the chat open right here. So if there's anything you can give me to let me know that I'm coming off okay to you guys, that you can see me and hear me, that would be awesome. So what we're gonna do, guys, is I'm gonna go take you through a process that may be new to you. I'm gonna show you how and what to do to manifest like a master today. And the reason that I want to teach this to you guys is that I believe we're all masters in our lives. I work around the themes of sovereignty, of authentic power, and one of the most important things in that, of course, is that you can create a life that you truly, truly love. Okay, so for me, as I said, it's really important to know if you can hear me well, if the sound is okay, if the viewing is okay. So if you can give me a heads up, that would be awesome. There's a chat box that you can type any questions in during the presentation. If you have any questions, please feel free to enter them in the chat so that I can go back to them later on and answer them for you. So this is the chat. Can you all hear me okay? I'm gonna type that in. I really appreciate if you can give me a sign, let me know that you can hear me, that you can see me clearly, before we go into the presentation and talk about how to manifest like a master. See, there's a couple of people live. So I'm actually waiting for someone to let me know that we're doing good, that you can hear me, that you can see me. Oh, there's a bit of a noise in the back, someone says. Okay, that is good to know. I know my computer makes a bit of a noise, but I think I have to roll with that. I'm sorry about that. I hope I'll be able to fix that, or maybe it gets less during the presentation. But for now, I think we have to roll with the fact that there's a little bit of noise in the background. Okay, so welcome. Oh, good, I hear. Thank you, guys. Thanks for the heads up. Okay, so as I said, first time on YouTube Live. It's a pickle, but let's roll with it. So, hey, I'm Rosalie. For those of you who may not know me, I am your host in this class on manifesting like a master. And today I'm going to teach you about manifesting in a way that gives you actually 80 to 90% effectiveness rate. And this is super high, so let that sink in for a minute. We'll go over and into that a bit deeper later on, but it's super effective. So I'm curious to know if there's things that you have been trying in manifesting up till now, because probably you came here because you want to be a better manifester. Let me know what your experience is in the chat, because I'm really curious to know where you guys stand and what you've already experimented with and how that went for you. So I'm looking at the chat right now, taking a sip of tea. If any one of you... So, and in the meantime, so manifesting is basically, as I said, a way to create the life that you really want for yourself. So it is a way to bring your life in alignment with the vision, the image that you have for yourself. Okay. and in a way, basically we're manifesting 24 hours a day. We're all the things that we think, everything that we say to each other, all the things that we believe are all um, ways for us to bring about in our lives the things that we are thinking about. So let me go into my oh yes, mine says I'm manifesting my new home. Oh, I'm gonna share some info on that. Um, I have. I'm really. I'm known. I'm very well known for manifesting new houses. So that's a great one, Yasmine. Way to go. So let me share with you um, my presentation, which will make it. Yes. So how to manifest like a master. So what we're going to do in this webinar is I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, but I'll be quick. Then we're going to go into what is manifesting, and then we discuss what you'll need to manifest effectively, what's blocking you and how to deal with that, and then the 3 steps to manifesting like a master. You can post your questions in the chat and I'll get back to those at the end of the presentation. So please feel free to share any questions that you may be having, okay? So who am I? For those of you who don't know me, let me introduce myself. I'm Rosalie. I'm a certified transformational leadership coach, and I'm also a ThetaHealer, and we'll talk about that a bit more later. In my work, I really focus on supporting people to live their best life, and what I call aligning with your authentic power, with your authentic self, and become the sovereign person that you are. So I'm a business owner. I used to be an interim manager in the Dutch government, and my focus is on leadership, authentic power, sovereignty, and on communication. So let me show you a little bit more about me. This is my family. These are my children and my husband Iso. And I always say that Iso has been my first real manifestation. At the tender age of 16, I wanted a guy. I wanted a boyfriend who really was there for me, who really saw me for all that I am. And Iso came in, and we're still together ever since. I sometimes say that I've had 4 really long relationships, all with the same man. And that is him. This is my soulmate. And those are our beautiful children. I'm very proud of my family, actually. It's a big part of my life. And here I am with my book, The Mindful Guide to Conflict Resolution. Another one of my most proud manifestations, I should say, because at one point I wanted to be a writer always. I wanted to write this book for years. And then I got a call suddenly over the Christmas break with the offer of writing a book with an advance with a publisher in the US. And of course I took it, and within a year I had this physical book in my hands. It's a beautiful experience, it's a beautiful story, and it's one of my most proud manifestations. And then here you see a third part of me. This is where I teach retreats. And that is also something that teaching a retreat is a special thing, because you go away with a couple of women, in our case, and help them take huge steps within themselves only in a few days. And it's a beautiful part of my work, where I can really go into that sovereignty element. Okay. So let's dive into manifestation. What is manifesting? Well, when I looked into the definitions of manifestations, I must say that I was a bit disappointed, actually, because manifesting, according to the Oxford and the Cambridge Dictionary, well, it's not what we mean here. So, but then I started writing this slide and this definition rolled out, and I was actually quite happy with it. I think manifestation is when something that is an idea of an abstract concept takes form and then becomes recognizable as real. And so manifesting is that activity of making something that was previously just an idea, making that um, take form and thus become something in the real world that we can recognize, and that we can touch and work with and deal with and handle, um, yeah, as we go along, so to say. So I'm curious if there's any questions about that. As I said, you can always post the questions in the chat. I'm gonna go have a look. Um, oh, someone says I've lost confidence in being able to manifest. Yeah, so I get that. Let's see, and hopefully with this webinar, I can teach you a new approach, and also I can also explain to you probably why it is hard for you to manifest. So we'll get to that today. Right. So I wanted to show you this quote: "Everything is energy, and that is all there is to it," by Albert Einstein. And this is one of the basic laws of the universe, right? Everything is energy, and like attracts like. So you could translate that as the universe wants to confirm you. It wants you to know that you're right. And it will go out of its way to confirm this to you. So, of course, we always have free choice, right? So even when you're on a path of abundance and you are thinking that you are not abundant or you will never be abundant, then the universe will nicely confirm that for you. So it's a law of the universe that like attracts like. So whatever you vibrate, whatever you send out into the void, comes back to you. Is what you draw in, is what you attract. So this basically means that manifestation is all about alignment. What we think and what we say has an effect on how things manifest in our lives. So depending on our vocabulary and our beliefs about manifestation, those manifestations will be positive or negative. So whatever we're thinking when we go out into our day, whatever we think about, what we say, will all have an effect in what we create in our life, what we manifest. Because the universe always gives us exactly what we vibrate, what we send out, what we apparently want. So if you constantly say, I am poor, then the universe will be just, kind enough to make this true for you. Of course, though, it's really, really hard to be and to think positive all the time. Especially when you get into a habit of believing that you are that things aren't working out for you. So when you get into a negative pattern, it's really hard for you to stay away from sometimes thinking something negative. And it's inhuman, I think, to need to be able to think positively all the time. So many of our thoughts are repeated in our mind until they become a habitual way of thinking. And so this is a crucial element. Every thought that you keep repeating in your mind becomes a habitual way of thinking. So there's 3 very common ways of manifesting. The first one is talking about something. And you can use affirmations, for example, to do that. But it's also just like saying, I have no money, or I do have money, or saying, I have a beautiful spacious home, or saying, my house is much too small. The second one is visualizing. And visualizing is very well known. It is, for example, making vision boards. Some people like this more than affirmations. Other people are more in the speaking approach. But all in all, you have speaking about something or vision boarding, visualizing what it is that you want. Visualizing, I'll go into that a bit later. And so the third one is the one that we're talking about today. That is manifesting in the theta state. So talking about something or using affirmations is 30 to 40% effective. Things can come true if you talk about it. That's absolutely true. And if you think about it. Visualizing, including that vision boarding, is 50% effective. And then the one that we're talking about today, manifesting in a theta state, is 80 to 90% effective. So that's a very interesting one, right? Yeah. It's not the easiest one though, but let me explain that to you. So as I said, manifesting is all about alignment. It's all about what you send out is what you will get in. Whether you use the speaking, whether you use the visualizing, or you use the method that we now do, it's all about aligning your inner beliefs with your outer reality. So what do you need to manifest successfully? Yeah, I want to say a few more things about this, by the way. Sorry. Manifesting is all about alignment. So this basically means that it explains why the other options like visualizing and speaking about your manifestation aren't that effective. Because you can say all the affirmations you like and you can make all the vision boards in the world, but if you don't feel deserving, for example, if you don't believe that you can have it, things will not manifest in your life. So maybe this is what is going on with you, where you see that things aren't manifesting. So if this is true for you, maybe this is because on some level, on a subconscious level or an unconscious level, you don't believe that you deserve the things that you're manifesting, that you're trying to draw in. So if your subconscious beliefs aren't aligned with what you're trying to manifest, it will never happen. So, Jasmijn, your question about the house, and it's one that I've had to deal with myself. So let me just give you an example from my personal experience. So let's say that you're trying to manifest a beautiful house, but you grow up in a neighborhood where you lived in a normal size house, and there were a few houses that were very large and spacious, and you were a little bit jealous about that. So there was some resentment about people living in big houses. That resentment is a feeling that you bring into your life, into your way of being. And so let's say that maybe you know these people, and you know that some of them were getting a divorce or were getting ill. What can happen then is that in your subconscious, you sort of draw in the feeling of, or the connection between the large house and being unhappy in love or getting sick. And so all these experiences with large houses, they go find themselves a spot in your subconscious way of being, in your life. They get stuck in you. And this influences your beliefs and your feelings about that big house. So if you go out and try to manifest your house without addressing these feelings and beliefs that you have about large houses and about what happens to people when they have a large house, that's hard. Because as we said, the universe will give you what you send out. But this is such a mixed feeling. You're saying that you want this big house, there's also this feeling of not being happy about a big house because you don't want to get a divorce or you don't want to get sick. And there's this resentment that you feel to people towards large houses, and it's not good if you feel resentment to yourself, right? So when the signals get mixed, the universe, it doesn't know what to send you, right? It just doesn't know. So manifesting, manifesting is all about alignment. And maybe in this example, I'm of course exaggerating to make a point. Maybe it's, for me, to be honest, this was for a large part my experience. so it's not even that exaggerated. But you get an idea of how this works, right? And so there's so many small and large things that will make it harder for you to manifest. So when things do not manifest when you're trying, it has probably everything to do with what you believe about yourself and about the thing that you're asking for and about the people that also have that thing that you're asking for. So, in order to be successful in manifestation, you will need the right beliefs and feelings and alignment between your subconscious and your goal. So on a subconscious level, your system, your entire being must believe that you deserve it. It must feel safe for you to have what you're asking for. Your subconscious must know that it's really what you want and not something that you just drew out of the high head and say that you want without really thinking it through. And it's also really good for you to have it. And so learning to manifest like a master is not about visualization, and it's not about saying the right affirmations and saying the right words. It's clear that manifesting like a master has everything to do with your belief system. Yeah. So in order for you, So let's first have a look at this image where if I want to explain to you the theta brainwave way of manifesting, let's go into those brainwaves for a tiny bit, because people have basically 5 ways of 5 brainwaves, right? Sorry, I get a little bit distracted because I'm thinking, have I said everything about that manifestation way? There's one thing that I wanted to add, a question that I sometimes get asked, and that is, so is it possible to have instant manifestation? And the answer is very much related to what we just discussed about alignment. As long as you completely believe that instant manifestation is a possibility, then yes, instant manifestation is possible. But the truth is that most of us, we don't believe that instant manifestation is possible. On so many levels, we don't believe that. And so that's why we don't do it. And that's why we can't do it yet. Manifesting like a master has everything to do with your belief system, the things that you believe. And in order to be effective, you'll have to sort through your beliefs and your feelings to see if they support what you want to manifest. So, okay, the brainwaves. People have 5 different brainwaves, right? You probably have heard about that. And the beta brainwave is where we are now. This is where we're thinking. This is where we're speaking to each other. And then there are other ones, like alpha is very much about relaxation, about chilling. Many of the healing techniques work with this brainwave energy. The gamma brainwave is very much about peak focus, insights, quick and snappy sort of presence. And the delta is more of a healing, sleeping energy. And the one we're talking about here is the theta brainwave. This is one where that is used when you are using your subconscious brain, really. It's a brainwave of very deep relaxation. It's connected to extremely deep meditation, sometimes even hypnosis. And it's basically, as I said, the state of the subconscious brain between the conscious and the unconscious brain. And what I am working with is the theta healing meditation technique. And that is a basically quite simple, actually, 10-minute meditation that you do to go into the theta state. And when you're in that theta state, you can work with the creating energy of all that is. And you use that to manifest in your life what you want. Um, Let me see if there's any questions in the meantime. Okay, no. So if there are questions, please feel free to ask them in the chat. I'll go back and forth and see if I can answer any of your questions. So when you want to, as I said, if you want to successfully manifest, you'll need the right beliefs and feelings, and you need an alignment between your subconscious and your goals. But what you mainly and most importantly also need is you need to know what it is that you truly, truly want. And it's hard for people to know that. I know it was really hard for me as well, and it can have to do with many reasons. But the main two that I see are you can have one of the reasons is that you don't really know what you want, and then it's really impossible to create it, right? You just don't know what it is that you really want. And the other one is that many people actually believe that life is leading them instead of the other way around. And so this is when you go mainly just go with the flow. And this is one that I do. I just when I'm not consciously paying attention, I just go with the flow. And I just follow the energy, so to say. And it's a very sort of many spiritual people have the tendency to do that, but it blocks manifestation, because if you're not clear and if you don't really know what you want, there's no way you can manifest it. And then there's these vague ideas of more money or more abundance or more this or that, but it never gets concrete because you haven't really thought it through and you're just following the flow as it goes. And the truth is that we are creating our own reality, and it is possible to manifest the best that the world has to offer. We can all manifest that. There's plenty for all of us. But you must first decide what it is that you really want in your life, and then the law of attraction can really start working for you. So there is one thingy, and that is that focusing on the one big thing, like only focusing on more money or a house or a car, is not the most effective way. And this element of manifestation has been a bit of a puzzle to me, to be honest, and it's a little counterintuitive, but it is actually true. And the reason why this is true is that your brain is a supercomputer. It has this gigantic amount of processing power, and it really needs stuff to work on, and it needs to know a bigger picture. And so what actually happens when you just focus on one or maybe two big things is that your brain will get a little uncertain. So it's trying to create something, but in the meantime it gets nervous about what will happen when this is done, and what we'll have to do after this, and it loses its effectiveness. Basically, it loses energy by being nervous about not knowing where to go. So instead of working faster, it slows down, and it just sort of starts wondering, what if I finish this? So the thing is that it works much better to give your mind a list to work on. Think about at least 15 things at the same time. And I know people, and I aspire to be one of those people that have a list of 100 manifestations going on at any given time. And you could say in a way that the ball keeps on rolling, right? So if something is crossed off, your mind knows immediately what it should focus on next, or your connection with the universe, it takes up the next thing on the list, or one of the next things on the list. And and also, in addition to this, it also trains your brain to have a broader to sort of expand in that abundance thinking, knowing that there is so much for you to draw in, that thinking big is a beautiful element of it as well. There's always enough, there's always more, that sort of vibe. So I'm offering a course to take you further in this journey. And one of the beautiful things that we do in the course is that we actually take designated time to craft a list of things that you really want. And you really take time to go into each of the things. Why is it that I want this? What exactly is it that I want? How can I make it concrete and tangible for myself? How can I make it real, right? Because it just requires some actual thinking, some actual time set aside to go into this. Okay, guys. Gonna go see if there's any questions about this so far. No, I think we're good. So yeah, let's go into those 3 steps to manifest like a master. So as I said, first thing, create a long list of what it is that you truly, truly, truly want for yourself. At least 15 things on it, and they must be related to your own life, right? You cannot manifest anything for anyone else. Not even a good job for your partner. Not even if it seems altruistic. It has to be for your life. Be mindful because you get what you ask for. So if you phrase it vaguely, it can go many, many different ways. Be concrete, make it tangible, make it very, think it through if it is truly what you want. For example, if you want to have in a business, when you're a business owner, and if you want to have many clients, but you don't want to work more than 2 hours a day, or that is something that you also feel, how is that going to work? So you can say, I want more clients, but in the same time, you're sending out a vibe of not wanting to work many hours per day. So you'll have to phrase it in a way that is complementary to what it is that you actually want. You want to have as many clients as are possible to fit in if you do 2 a day, for example. So you cannot wish, this is just a general rule that is important for you to understand, you cannot wish for someone to love you. This is one of the other big laws of the universe. It conflicts with the law of free choice. And so we're not going to manifest anything that forces someone to go do something that they don't want. I'm going to take a sip of water and then speak on. So there's another point that's very important. When you make your list, your 15 items and more, state it as if you already have it. So I have this now. This is in my life now. And finally, just because, don't manifest to be like someone else. You can manifest being your best self instead. But don't try to compare yourself to anyone else. That's not going to be the most effective thing for you, the best thing for you. You won't be happiest if you are like someone else. It's better to focus on being the best version of you. So the second step to manifest like a master is to work through your limiting beliefs and your negative feelings. Right, so it's clear that manifesting like a master, as I focused on a little bit earlier, has everything to do with your belief system. So in order to be effective in manifesting, you will have to sort through your beliefs and feelings to see if they support you and what you want to manifest. And you know, that sounds a little intense, and in a way it is. But and so you can do it just by if you tune into what would it be like for me to have that big house or to have those clients. When you really try to sort of feel what it'd be like if you walk into that house, how will you feel? If it all feels really peachy and shiny and you're very happy, then at least it seems for now that you're good to go. But if you feel sort of anxiety or fear or contraction feeling, that's the moment where you have to explore, what are my beliefs here? What is underlying this negative feeling? And what are my feelings about having a house? And then you might come across um, those things that I just gave in the example. Like maybe there's resentment, maybe there's fear of becoming sick or failing in your marriage or whatever. And um, well, as I said, this isn't easy to do by yourself, and of course you can do it together with a coach. But in my new course, Manifesting with the Creator, we'll be clearing many, 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 literally 1001 very common limiting beliefs and limiting feelings that are that may be ingrained in your subconscious brain, I must say, because not all 1001 beliefs are in you. Maybe you only have 800. But then still, if we can change them around, and that's what we'll do in the course, um, it will open the channels for your manifestations to come in. So work with your limiting beliefs and the negative feelings. That's step 2 to manifesting like a master. And then the third step is to use the theta healing technique. And so what you do is we use a meditation to get in a theta state. And as I said, the theta healing meditation that is specifically designed for manifestation is a really good one. Again, I teach that in a course. Go up to a creating energy of all that is, and we call that the creator. And there you make clear and detailed requests. So if you would use a normal meditation, that will work in a way, I think, if you can really get into that deep state of meditation, but it's harder. And if when you get there, you must present your list very detailed, very clear, because as I said, you get what you ask for. And let me give you an example here. I'm gonna put the video on for a second because it's nice if you can see me. So let me give you an example here of my own sort of, I wasn't clear. So at one point, I really wanted to manifest it's different. I didn't want to manifest a house. I wanted more space. I wanted more space in my life for my family. And we were living at that time in an apartment in Amsterdam, and it was nice, but it wasn't really spacious. It was actually quite dark, and I needed air, and I needed the ability for all of us to have enough space. And that's how I named it. And this was before I was a theta healer, before I knew the theta healing manifestation technique, and I was just working with visualization and affirmations. And I did do the clearing of beliefs, but it was a few years back. So I focused on bringing in more space. And then I think it was because I didn't believe that we could buy a bigger house. At that time, I was an entrepreneur. My husband was sort of in between things. He was basically halfway through a sabbatical. So we didn't have the money to buy a larger house in Amsterdam, and we weren't willing to move away from Amsterdam. So then I got a sudden insight, and I can't explain it any differently. It was a sudden idea that I had to visit a certain campsite in the neighborhood here in Amsterdam, or near us in North Holland. A very famous, well-known, very much appreciated campsite. And on those campsites, it was very hard to get a spot there. But if you got a spot there, you could have like a season pass to go there. And you could put down a little house or a caravan, and you could come there basically every day and enjoy the beach that was very close by, beautiful surroundings, forest, whatever. It's very beautiful. I'd never been there. But suddenly it dropped into my head, why don't you check out that campsite? And I went online, I looked at the website, I saw how you could apply for a spot there. I heard from others that it was really hard to get it that way because there was a waiting list and it was very long. But I thought, well, it's just an idea. I'll email them to put me on the waiting list and we'll see. And it slipped sort of from my mind. And then a few months later, in February, I got an email that there were 5 spots available, and that everyone on the waiting list, there were 100 families that were actively on the waiting list. We were among them. Were invited to come to the campsite and participate in a lottery to win one of those spaces. Okay, so we took, we even had to borrow a car, but we went up there with the 4 of us. We went up there on that Saturday or Sunday, I don't remember that exactly. And there were many families there. It was very busy. We got a number, and they were using a sort of a wheel of fortune to pick the numbers that would win the opportunity to rent that space, a space on the campsite. And there were 5, as I said, and so we were very much like, we're gonna win this. We are gonna win this. And the first one won, the second one, the third one, the fourth one. And my husband and I looked at each other just before the 5th one was rounded. And we both thought, afterwards we told each other, we both thought, we really want this. And so I remember standing there thinking, I really, really want this. And we won. That last space was ours. It was the best spot in the entire campsite, I would say, but it was an amazing spot. And I had my extra space. Did I expect that it would come in the form of a caravan on a campsite? Hell no. I expected it to be a larger house. But as I said, I didn't really believe that we could have a larger house. I didn't really feel that we were ready for a larger house. However, I did feel that we were ready for a campsite, caravan spot thing. And we got that. So all of this to say, I'm going back to my presentation, all of this to say that you get what you ask for. So if you ask for more space, the universe will fill in how that will come to you. Right? Okay. So yeah, in my course, again, I will teach you a trick to make this at least work out really well, because you can also take the caravan thing is funny, and it's a good example, and it was positive, and we loved it there. So that wasn't bad at all. But you can also think about the example that you wish for more money, or you manifest more money, but you don't state how that will come to you, and then it will come to you through a big accident, for example, and you get an insurance covering, which is bringing you in a lot of money, but it is absolutely not what you intended, right? So you must be careful what you ask for. Okay. Guys, I'm gonna see if there are questions, because this is the 3rd step to manifesting like a master. So there's 3 steps. Let me go back. Create a long list of what you truly want for yourself. First step. Then work through your limiting beliefs and your negative feelings that may be stopping you from getting what you want. And then the 3rd one is use a meditation technique, for example, the Theta healing technique that I teach in the course, to go up to the creating energy of all that is. We call that the creator, you can call it like the universe, you can call it God. But you go up to that energy, connect with that energy, and then state your command very clearly in the form of, I have this in my life now, and you expect it to be there. Okay. Okay. So I would like to say a few things. I've mentioned my course a couple of times, right? And so the course is called Manifesting with the Creator. And I'm going to do actually 2 live rounds for this course on April 7 and April 11. And that's quite special because at those moments I will be there to work with you, and I'm supporting you personally. So that's what I will do after these 2 live rounds is I will turn this course into a home study program. But there's this opportunity now to enroll in one of those 2 dates that I'm hosting the live call for you. And so, as you've learned here today, through the Theta healing technique, working with the Theta energy, aligning all of your energies to fit what you're calling in, we are also able to clear the blocks that and the negative patterns that are preventing you from bringing in your manifestations. So when you change your patterns, you change your thinking. It's just that simple. So this course is really not like visualization course and or positive thinking courses. What we're going to do, as I said, is we take some time to really learn that theta healing technique. We take time to craft that list and really go into, is this what I want? What are the 15 things, that at least 15, that I really, really want to bring in? And then we do the 1001 downloads, as we call them, changing of beliefs that are limiting you, so that you really clear yourself from bringing in those 15 or more manifestations. So we really set basically your brain in that abundance mode. So normally when I work with people personally in courses, they invest like 500 to 1,000 euros per person to be there. But I didn't want that for this course, because I really want all of you, everyone, to be able to afford, really stepping into that, being that master of your own life, right? I really want to teach this to a lot of people and make it very affordable. So this course is, for these live rounds, is only 179 euros. So that is for those days, either April 7, April 11. It's only 179 euros. Plus I'm going to add an interesting bonus. May not be for all of you, but the bonus is that I'm going to add the Call in Your Soulmate module. It's an extra manifestation meditation that we do to call in your best soulmate. So if you want this, I'm going to type the link in the chat. So if you want to be there, this is the link. And as I said, it's only going to happen twice. Okay. So we're getting towards the end of this webinar, and I hope that that you were able to pick up a couple of things about what effective manifestation looks like and why it is so hard to manifest. Manifesting isn't a simple let's think positively, or let's visualize something positive, or you really need to do some work. And the work is all about making your subconscious connect with the things that you want for yourself. Really believing, knowing that you deserve it is what is needed here. And as I said, that may not always be, it may not be nice to hear, or it may not be what you want to hear, but it is what will make it effective, and it is what will work. If you take it on, this is what will work. This is what will bring in those manifestations that you're yearning for. Whether that is a new house, whether it is a caravan, more space, whether it is a soulmate. If your subconscious beliefs are in alignment with the things that you're calling in, then you can do anything. You really can. Okay, so guys, are there any questions that I can answer right now? Because this is a lot of information, it's a lot of content, it's pretty jam-packed. There's probably things that you didn't hear before. Help me help you. What is it that I can clarify, or that what questions can I answer for you? I have no questions here, I think. So apparently it's all been really, really clear. Well, then we're going to finish a little bit early. And I'm just going to say to you, I invite you warmly and deeply into my new course, Manifesting with the Creator. The link is here in the chat. It's a beautiful program. You will learn a lot. It will be a special 2 days. It's 1 day for the program. So we'll meet early on. We have a couple of nice moments together. It's going to be live, but through Zoom, so you don't have to go anywhere. It can be from your house, from your space. We will, yeah, we'll really do this work together. That's basically what it is, and I can support you, answer your questions, and help you clear those 1001 common limiting beliefs that so many people have, and that are basically preventing us from being sovereign, from bringing in the life that we really deserve and want for ourselves. Okay, so I hope you had a lovely lunch break, and I wish you a wonderful, wonderful day, and I hope to see you inside the course. But if you're not joining anyway, I wish you beautiful manifestations. Ciao, guys.